Welcome back to Duckman Cycles and VW Garage. I'm your host, the Duckman. We're back today with my 1956 Beetle, also known as Eleanore. And she was a storm-damaged car, which I rebuilt from, well, pretty much scrap garbage in the works, and built her into a chop top because I knew she wasn't going to be perfect. Anyways, I've been working on that rear hatch area that you see right back on in there. Today we're going to be cleaning up the welds that are on there, grinding them down as smoothly as possible, and trying to make the thing presentable, so that way it looks like it was a factory installation. So, as always, click like on this video. Please leave a comment. Please go ahead and pluck that little dingle belly next to the subscribe button. That way you get updates every time I upload a new video. Don't forget to check out Duckman Cycles VW Garage up on the Facebook group page. And check out my other channel, VV the Duck VV. If you haven't already seen it, earlier today, I actually uploaded a Wild Bill update video as far as his bus and the big fiery explosion that he had while going down the road over here. Has a pretty neat thumbnail on it. It catches your attention for certain. So please check out the video. I've been putting a lot more videos up on VV the Duck VV, and I'm going to try to do them daily. As kind of like a personal blog, which is what I intended the channel to be for, and it's going to be mostly involving Volkswagens as well as some other things that happens in my life. So thanks very much for joining us, you guys. I really do appreciate it, and we'll be back in a few right after the intro. Alright, we're back here inside the Beetle, and we're doing a little bit of work in the rear hatch area that you're seeing right here. This is the lid that I put on last time, and what I've got to do is I've got to do a lot of cleanup on the welds that are around here. As you know, it's sheet metal, and you're going to have to do some grinding no matter what. That's just typical of the, the type of welding that we're doing here. There's a few spots that I do want to go over again. I don't know if you can see them, but I can see some pinholes through here. I can see a couple holes in here I didn't even hit at all. There's a few other spots. What I might do is I might take the light that's up there and put it underneath, shining upwards, so that way I can see the pinholes shining through. I think that'll make a bigger difference and easier for me to see them, at least from here anyway. I need to do the same thing to the roof up above my head, because there's some spots in there that I was welding almost 2 years ago that I very haphazardly put together because I was in a hurry for the car show back in 2017. And of course it's been almost, well, it'll be 2 years in a few weeks. I guess first things first, pull this hatch out of here. Couple tools we're going to use today are going to be using angle grinders. This one's actually got the cutting wheel on it. This one, however, has the grinding disc. We're also going to be using, once that noisy truck finishes passing, we're also going to be using the belt sander. This was referred to me by Earl over at, oh geez, I always say the wrong name, Creative Custom Classic Cars CCC. I will be very, very respectful of him, and I'm going to, on the bottom of this video right here in the bottom, give you the description as to exactly what the name is. And I always say the wrong things, and I hate myself for it. I absolutely love Earl, and I love Earl's work. Earl did the Christine movie car, which belongs to my friend Bill. It's just a beautiful, beautiful restoration of that car, and I'm hoping that he can do anywhere even 50% of that quality to Eleanore when it's time for Eleanore to be painted. So thank you, Earl, for this recommendation. This tool has actually been very, very much in handy, and it's going to come in handy when I get in here in these little areas, because I need to get all these little corrugations sanded down properly, and it's going to be a little tough to get in there. Also in the corners, way back in there, there's no way you're going to get an angle grinder in there, so I'll be hitting it with that tool. Okay, I think that's where we're going to start out at today. Got my time-lapse set up there. I've got my light, and I've even got my respirator out today. Usually when I'm in here, I turn on the fan. Because I'm going to be doing some grinding, I'm going to be stirring up a lot of dust. And it's kind of cold out today, and the fan isn't going to do me a whole lot of work because it's going to be off most of the time. Being that I'm in a confined area, it's just a good idea to have a respirator on in this case, and that's what we're going to be doing. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. And, you know, as always, thanks for watching, you guys. Let's go ahead and start cutting, grinding, and, well, probably hit the welder first and hit some of these spots that I've missed. Let's see what we got. went by pretty quick. I actually ran out of welding wire. That was kind of a surprise. I thought I was going to have a lot more. I got in most of the pinholes that I saw all around through here, but I didn't get any of the ones up in the front here, so I don't feel like restocking the welder right now. I know I have another roll. I don't know where the hell it's at. I'm going to have to dig for it, and I'm on a bit of a time constraint today because I have a party to go to in a couple hours. And I, of course, want to get the video uploaded if I can before I get to the party. So in order for me to do that, I'm going to have to keep right on working. Okay, so let's go ahead and break out the grinder next. It's the angle grinder right here. And we'll go ahead and try to start flattening out some of these welds. I'm going to put on my respirator to do it, and we'll see how this all turns out. I think I did pretty well in here. The surfaces are somewhat flat. I think that's about as close as I'm going to get with the angle grinder anyway, which is actually pretty damn close. There's still some nubs in a couple places that need to come down. Up in here, this was the hardest spot of all to reach because I'm right-handed. Primarily right-handed. There's actually some things that I do better lefty, which, I don't know, is completely unexplained. Although my grandmother did say that I was a lefty when I was a kid, but being that she comes from Nazi Germany, you know, left-handedness was highly discouraged, and apparently she discouraged me from being a lefty when I was really young. At least that's what she said anyway. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about that, but anyways, interesting little tidbit of story there for you. So anyways, I was having some trouble getting in here with the angle grinder, so there's some spots that it's just I got frustrated and didn't quite knock down the rest of the way. But that shouldn't be a problem for this guy, because this one, I can actually change the angle of attack on it and come in, you know, vertically like this and hit that spot no problem. Now, I'm going to run that around the area here. All this is looking pretty good. It looks kind of stippled or speckled, but it's really not. It's just some spots are just a little higher than the other. You don't want to take it down too much because the angle grinder will cut right through that sheet metal, and I mean, almost instantly. So you don't want to hit it too hard. Yeah. Up in the corner here, of course, I missed that. There's no way the angle grinder is going to get in there. And up in here, I didn't even try. And in here is where I had the most of my burn through. This is where I had the biggest burn through issues of all. And what I'm going to be doing through here is I'm going to be hitting that again with the welder. So I'm not going to be worrying too much about finishing that up or making this look done, because that side still needs a lot of work. Over here, however, and in the front, that I can certainly polish down and cut down with this guy without having to worry too much about having to re-weld it. I mean, I may find a pinhole here and there, but nothing that's too big of a deal. Okay, let's stay on it for today and see how much more of this we can get done. I'm really in a good point already. I think I'm in a very happy spot. Okay, yeah, let's hit it. Now, the belt sander doesn't make as much vibration, so it's really not quite as necessary to wear the anti-vibration gloves that I've got here. I do recommend it with the angle grinder, but this guy really doesn't do that. It doesn't have as much kickback. It doesn't have as much well, the parts don't move quite as fast, which is another good thing too, so you don't have to worry about the discs exploding in your face or other nonsense like that. It does make a hell of a lot of noise though, just like an angle grinder. It has a hell of a whine that comes from it, especially when you're getting adequate air supply. And when you're inside of a tin roof like this tin can makes a hell of a lot more noise to the person that's living on the inside of it. It also doesn't make a whole lot of rooster tail, and it doesn't make a whole lot of dust. Usually whatever it picks up are like pebbles or stones, and they just kind of fall down. They're heavy. They don't become lofty or airborne. So I don't worry too much about respirators and other stuff when running this either. Now I suppose if I was in a let's say a closed up garage or something, and I was cutting something that has a tendency to make a poofy dust, I don't know, let's say I was cutting talcum powder. I don't know why I'd want to use a belt sander. I'm cutting up a block of talcum, but I suppose if I would, this would make a tremendous dust cloud. If I was doing anything with tile grout, once again, it would make a huge dust cloud. But when you're working with sheet metal or grinding down welds, it doesn't make any cloud at all. You really don't have to worry too much about a respirator or having fresh air. This is a nice tool, really nice tool. And of course, you can change the angle of attack. You know, I mentioned that earlier. So that way I can get in here, I can turn that around backwards and hit it like that. So it's much easier to work with for some of them confined areas, you know, such as getting up in here. I can use the tip of it. Up in here, I can run along the whole side. So anyway, without me talking too much about it, let's go ahead and demonstrate. Now I like to keep these screws tight, but just tight enough so that way I can still pivot it. But yet you can still put enough pressure on it that it's not going to turn on its own. Some people like to make them tight and keep them in a permanent angle, but no, I like the flexibility and adjustability of it. Okay, let's go ahead and get into action here. We're going to demonstrate how that works. Here comes the noise. Give you guys a better angle as to what I'm doing here. Okay, this was that wire channel area where the stock wires on a late model Beetle would run along here, but of course this is a replacement panel that I used on a earlier car, so I'm not going to use that. And then of course when I added this in here, this flange for the rear hatch, it wasn't necessary at all, but there was no sense in me cutting the dimple out because it's not something that you're ever going to get to see. So let's go ahead and get in here and clean up this weld. There was a lot of fill that went into this. Looks like I need to tighten that bolt up just a little bit. It's a little bit looser than I want it to be. Okay, that pretty much shows the power of that thing and how well it does. I still need to get in here and go a little bit further, but just to give you an idea, that worked out quite well. So anyways, that was some really, really high welds that I didn't hit at all with the angle grinder, but now that I've actually hit it with the angle grinder all through this area, this is going to fuzz down real quickly, real quickly. All right, let's go ahead and get back to it. I think that turned out pretty good. It's nice and smooth. All those contours and bumps and ridges were manufactured to make it look like it was stock. And like always, there's a couple spots that I always burn through a little bit, and I hit the grinder just a little too much. And somewhere over here there's a soft spot. Yeah, it's right in here. I don't know if you can actually see it, but I actually cut through the sheet metal just a little too thin in one spot. So I'm going to have to fix that. But that's okay, because I'm not done welding in here anyway. Right in here is about where I have to put in the lock. There's another piece that goes over here. This whole side needs to be re-welded. And then, of course, I need to cut out here and get where the hinges are going to be mounted in. But the reason why I'm hurrying and why I want to put the phosphoric acid on here so badly is because all of this is going to turn one solid color at that point. And then you're going to be able to see all of the beautiful contours here that I've made. Or you'll get to see just how bad they look because they're all crooked. I don't expect them to be perfect, but I think they're going to be pretty good. Let's go ahead and get that phosphoric acid on here. Pour me out a little bit. Ooh, that's way too much. Okay, we're going to pour some of that back in the bottle. All right, let's set up the camera here so you guys can watch me do this. Okay, we've got our phosphoric acid coating on there now. It's just a matter of letting it foam and doing its business. And usually it's best if it's left to sit overnight. Overnight it will do the best etching on the metal. I'm working in my driveway, and this stuff will it will eat the lime in your driveway, in your concrete. So it's a good idea to put a drop cloth or something down, and I did. But what I didn't think about is that when I put this thing back in the garage, any dripping that's going to come off of here is going to be dripping down onto the engine and the floor pan and the transmission. And phosphoric acid will make a mess out of my paint. It'll actually burn holes in the magnesium of the engine case. And if there's anything aluminum too, it'll make a mess out of that. So, yeah, I'm going to have to lay a drop cloth over some more stuff to prevent that from happening. But I didn't think about that until just a minute ago, just before I hit the record button. So anyways, I think that's going to be it for now. There we go. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Pluck that little dingle belly down there next to the subscribe button. That way you get updates every time I upload a video. And don't forget, check out my other channel over on VV the Duck VV. My midday updates are now going up over there. So if you want to see me answer people's questions, if you have any questions about this and you want to ask them, go ahead and post it down in the comments and I will follow up with the video. It's going to be over on my other channel. I'm trying to generate more traffic on that channel, and the talky stuff seems to make more sense for it. So that's what we're going to do. This is more project-related channel stuff, so I've separated those two. I'm still going to say that probably for a couple more videos, because there's still some people that casually watch my videos. So I'm going to continue to push that a little bit. So please, VV the Duck VV, if you want to see my midday updates and you want to see a little bit about what goes on in my life. And of course, we got Skeeter the Duck, and Skeeter the Duck's probably going to get a video up this weekend too. I'm going to a party tonight, so I'm probably not going to record it this evening, but I think you guys get the point. So thanks so much for watching. Really do appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Okay, just from the phosphoric acid just sitting on there for a couple minutes, you can already start to see all those bumps and ridges that I had done all that custom metal bending with. Oh, there was a lot of metal bending, cutting, and fab that went into that to make those contours and corrugation all match. And it's starting to pop now. I'm starting to see it through the foam. But yeah, we're going to let the acid sit on there overnight. The foam will disappear, and all that metal should turn kind of a dull gray color. And once it's all uniform, we'll be able to see very easily as to what this looks like.